listening to Sports Radio Detroit.
Hello and welcome back to Grave Discussions, episode 33, The Night He Came Home Again. I am Barnabas.
And I am Samael, and welcome to the episode we've been really excited about.
Yeah, we've been stoked about this one. We're going to be reviewing the new Halloween, and it's been something we've talked about probably the most recently,
I think we bring it up every podcast.
Yeah, and obviously it's been the most highly anticipated film of this year because it's Halloween. And when did the last Halloween come out?
2009, which was Rob Zombie's Halloween 2.
But as far as the non-Rob Zombie stuff, was it
2004 or 2 with Halloween Resurrection?
Something like that. I think it was early 2000s.
On the the break of the technological age, because that's when they tried to incorporate all these themes of all these set up video cameras and
computers and everything
and the World Wide Web, and people were just talking they just made tech the main thing of that. It didn't feel like a Michael Myers movie, especially since Laurie died at the beginning. But it's been a long time since we had a non-Rob Zombie film.
That's true. Yeah, that's why we have this wave of supporters for those movies. But we're not going to get into that. We are here today to talk to you about the new Halloween, but that's going to come a little bit later. First off, we have to give shout outs to a few people. Sports Radio Detroit.
Yes.
The one and only. And they have a bunch of social media, so why don't you tell them where you can find SRD?
You guys can find SRD on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Just search Sports Radio Detroit, SRD, the one and only.
Yep. And also, part of SRD, just like us, is another show called Over Under Fair.
Yes.
And those guys are awesome. Dave, Lacey, and Roger. And we just did an episode with them as a special guest stars. It was on the Halloween franchise. And they just dropped their review of the new Halloween today.
Ooh.
Which is Wednesday, so technically it's already been out if you're listening to this. So go check that out, both of those episodes, and let us know what you guys think about it. But yeah, go check them out. Go check out SRD. So let's jump right into the news. We've had a mixed, week as far as news goes. This first story here was definitely the most exciting this week. So you guys probably know about it. Friday the 13th might be coming back as a reboot with LeBron James as producer.
He's smart because he saw the success that bringing back a classic slasher and Michael Myers generated.
Yeah.
And the naysayers? I see people in these horror groups making angry reacts that LeBron wants to produce it. Okay, first of all, he's the GOAT, so you can eat shit. Second of all, what's wrong with him producing it? How do you know he's not at home with a fuck ton of Jason memorabilia?
Oh, dude, he posts stuff on his social media all the time with him wearing a Jason mask and stuff like that.
Yeah, so why
he loves the character,
dude. Bro, if he's a true fan, let him bring Jason, because he's older than us. He watched Friday the 13th part 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 while they were coming out. Imagine, he probably saw all of them in theaters growing up. He probably just grew up on the franchise, and now people are trying to shit on him. Oh, LeBron James. Because they probably think it's going to have some sort of underlying message or some bullshit. I read what these people post on these forums, and they're just full of shit. Let LeBron do it, because I need Jason, bro.
Me too.
The last good Jason thing that came out was the fan film with Tommy Jarvis, Never Hike Alone. But other than that, I miss Jason.
Yeah, same, bro. Yeah, honestly, I'm in the camp of let LeBron do it, because on Bloody Disgusting and Facebook, I've been seeing all these negative ass comments, like you said.
Yeah, I don't like
I just
that.
don't get it, bro. Like, a person like that doesn't just, use their money to fund a film unless they're like passionate about it, right?
Yeah.
Because he could literally fund like the next, I don't know, Paul Thomas Anderson or
some fucking
or
Disney
Guillermo
movie
del
that's,
Toro movie or something.
or he could just fund some Disney shit that's gonna
Yeah.
make him a fuck ton of money, but he wants to do Jason because he likes Jason.
Right.
There's not gonna be any, implicit like subliminal messages. Like what's wrong with people? Like,
Yeah, I don't get
no
it.
one can just be like, oh, that's exciting. We might get a new Jason.
Mhm.
They just see LeBron James, and just because he's a famous basketball player, they just want to like shit on that idea.
Mhm.
I don't like people like that, bro. Like, yes, if he's a hardcore Jason fan, let him bring Jason back because he can do it. Fuck all this court shit. LeBron has the money to solve any problem any of these guys has.
Yeah, that's true.
And he could just pull Friday the 13th out of the dirt. We could bring back slashers. Fuck, who knows? Now we're getting another Candyman movie.
Yeah.
Hopefully another Jason. We just had Michael. There's Child's Play coming out. Who knows? He might even fucking produce a new Freddy movie. Who says LeBron James can't just be a fucking producer? Like
Yeah.
Mustafa Akkad. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, would you expect some like guy like that to like want to fund like some slasher? Of course not. And he, Mustafa's been keeping, and his family's been keeping Michael alive
Mhm.
all of these years. So LeBron can help keep Jason alive. So no
Yeah.
one fights over those rights. No one gets into all that shit. And he can produce a lot of horror movies. I'll be happy for like Hollywood to just produce all these like these big time slashers and horror movies. Like, people want to shit on remakes and stuff because a lot of remakes suck. But a lot of the movies coming out in 2018, like, I haven't really seen a horrible movie that came out this year.
Yeah. I mean,
Horror-
I'm sure there's been some, but a lot of the hits were great.
I mean, horror right now, it's doing so well.
Yeah, I agree.
Especially because of Michael, Hereditary, A Quiet Place.
Yep.
Like, this year has been very good for horror. And,
Mhm.
you know what, they have Bloodfest and Hellfest.
Yeah.
Those were really good. So I don't
The Haunting of Hill House.
Yeah, dude. I mean,
Yeah.
even the even the Netflix show Haunted, all this stuff coming out now. Horror's in a good place now.
Yeah, I agree.
I think this is the first time horror's been getting this much attention since like
Mhm.
when I remember horror was big was like early 2000s, like when Jason X came out. That's when
Mhm.
horror was big. But I know for sure like the 1980s, that was like slashers
Oh, yeah.
golden era. But like, this is it for us. We're living in this, and we're gonna look back at this someday, and people are gonna talk about this, this conscious horror movement, like Hereditary. Like, there's a lot of implicit messages, but they're not like, made to brainwash you. It's just more like family themes and all that stuff. And like, nowadays movies are focusing on being more atmospheric slow burners than just jump scares for no fucking reason. And I think that's the direction horror should go. So I'm all for Friday the 13th. I'm all for everything getting rebooted and remade. Let's keep it alive. Why not? Even if it sucks, you have the hope, Leo. They're at least going to make another one. Even if it sucks, you're still going to watch it, and you're going to watch it again because these are iconic horror characters.
Yeah. I completely agree. I think that people should let LeBron do it. Honestly, like, what are you going to do to stop it anyway? Why even bitch about it?
Yeah, I think it's
let's not
just
get
prejudice at this point, honestly,
Yeah.
because no one gave a good reason.
He's a basketball player.
What does he know? Okay, Rodney, you fucking weld. What do you know, like, about fucking horror? Like,
Yeah, or movies or anything. Like, I actually, like, make movies,
yeah.
like, for real. So, hell yeah, he should do it. Because you know what? I can barely fund my own, like, movie right now. So, if he wants to fund fucking Friday the 13th, then let him. But let's move on here. The next thing is actually kind of similar, honestly. Sci-fi, yes, Sci-fi is set to make new films in two different franchises: Killer Clowns from Outer Space
Yeah, I heard about this.
and Critters.
Yes. I
So-
haven't watched Critters since I was like 5-6 years old, bro.
Yeah, Critters is great. I haven't seen all of them, but I've seen, I think, the first two, and they're awesome.
Yeah, I fucking love Critters. It's fucking creepy.
Yeah, those things are really weird. Like, when you see them up close, their faces are just like,
And like, it was kind of like cheesy back then, but nowadays, like,
Mhm.
nowadays practical effects, even like the CGI can, if it's subtle enough, I think this, especially Killer Clowns, bro. Holy fuck! Last time I saw
Yeah.
that was in 6th grade when we were in the portables.
Well, I hope that they don't use too much CGI, but in the right spots it could be okay.
I just want it. If it is, I want it to be subtle. I don't want them to look like fucking video game characters that came to our world.
Because all of their like Mecha Croc versus whatever fucking Robo Rooster, like all that shit is heavy CGI.
Why'd you even bring that up?
I'm just saying, like all that stuff is really heavy CGI, and that's the kind of shit I don't want to see.
Robo Rooster.
Yeah, I don't know that Robo Cock.
Oh.
Oh man, that's not where I was going with it, but I'm the rooster is my like zodiac sign.
I'm guessing it's mine too.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
We were born a day apart. If you didn't know, I'm a day older.
Fucker.
So anyway, yeah, Killer Clowns never had a sequel, so I'm excited to see that. A lot of people are shitting on it on the forums. And I get it because sci-fi has not had a great track record recently, but I think that these are like the perfect type of movies for them to make because they're just fun.
Sci-fi made my favorite TV horror films.
Yeah.
Like the ones that aren't even available on DVD. The ones that are just like TV horror, like Casa de los Muertos on Sci-fi, or what's it called? All Souls Day. I don't know if you ever saw that, but that was like a sci-fi original. They had a lot of good. They had so many good like creature features too. So like, I don't know. People are just jaded. Like I've said about the last topic. Like people suck.
Yeah, I mean, like I remember there would be like Friday nights where I would just like get home, I'd turn on the TV, I'd be like, all right, what's on Sci-Fi? It'd be some like shitty monster movie with like really really obvious CGI on the monster, and I'd just be like, all right, this is great. I'm just gonna lay down on the couch and watch this.
Exactly.
So that's what I want, and that's what these movies are like originally anyway. So. Yeah, I'm stoked to see. I'm gonna give them the benefit of the doubt. I think they might make something pretty good. So, the last bit of news here, like I said, it was a little slow, but this is still cool. So, Happy Birthday to Me is coming out with a retro VHS style Blu-ray Halloween.
Aren't you happy because we've been talking about like watching this for a minute and like we couldn't find it anywhere.
Yeah, I'm gonna for sure buy it. I think it's coming out on October 30th, so that would be next Tuesday.
You're gonna like it. I don't care what anyone says. Even though it's American, that's a giallo film.
Yeah, that's what I heard. So I'm pumped. I mean, we started watching it one time and I really liked it, and then something happened. I think it stopped working or something, and we never got to finish it. But yeah, it's coming out. So it is gonna be a Blu-ray, but it's gonna have this like cool, retro VHS packaging.
That's so dope.
Yeah, there's the image on the article on Dread Central, if you want to go look at it. And I believe that this is sold exclusively at Walmart beginning October 30th. Yeah, yep. Dude, so you gotta go to Walmart.
Let's go that day and get it. Both of us will grab our own. Well, I'm gonna grab two. One to open and watch. One to like just keep. Yeah.
Yeah, because they might be limited. I wouldn't be surprised at all if they were limited.
I mean, at first Halloween 4 was limited to like 40,000 copies for like the special edition one.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, this is really cool because you can't really like find this movie anywhere else. I don't think.
Oh,
I looked on Amazon.
I tried everywhere. Yeah. You can find it on eBay.
Yeah, but it's probably pretty expensive. But this one is going to come out. I'm not sure if there's a price here, so I don't know how much it's going to cost. But
I'm assuming $30.
Yeah, 30 or 40. I'm okay with paying that for it though, because I really want to see it.
Man, it's good. Just remember one thing when you watch it. The bench pressing scene. Just remember that.
Okay.
There's a guy bench pressing, and it's crazy.
All right, I'll keep that in mind.
Okay.
So yeah, if you guys are fans of the film or want to see the film, then be sure to check your local Walmart on October 30th. It should start.
Definitely one of my other picks for Halloween. I didn't even think about it.
Nice.
Definitely watch that.
I'm for sure gonna buy it. Like probably that day.
That day and watch it that day too. Yeah. I mean, if we're hanging out that day, we could just come back here.
Yes.
Oh, I don't have a fucking Blu-ray player.
Well, you can just keep it for whenever you do have one.
I'm just gonna put it in like a.
I can just watch it later.
Just gonna put it in a frame.
There you go. So let's get into some trailer announcements here. I've got a couple, but I don't want to talk about them too much. The first one is Escape Room. This is probably the biggest one.
That one looked so good.
It did look pretty good. It's like Saw, but with like way more tech, and it's kind of like Cube as well, I guess. I don't know, but Yeah, Escape Room is kind of a crazy mixture of them. It's coming out January 4th, 2019 in theaters, and it's going to be directed by Adam Robitel, who did The Taking of Deborah Logan and Insidious: The Last Key, which both of those I kind of liked. So
I really liked The Taking of Deborah Logan when
yeah,
she
me
was
too.
eating that little girl.
Yeah,
That
that
was
was just
fucking
crazy.
crazy.
I
Like,
saw the GIF of that
"Spit her
before I
out!"
saw the movie. Yeah,
Spit her out.
yeah, I really like The Taking of Deborah Logan. So I'm excited about this one. It's going to feature Logan Miller, Deborah Ann Wool, and Tyler Labine.
Wow, the names
Yeah.
Deborah and Logan are in there,
Yeah.
and he did just fucking eat the microphone.
I get it.
That was done purposefully. All right, we gotta cast someone named Logan and Deborah as a shout out to my previous film. Like
Yeah. Next up is this film called The Prodigy.
that shit looked crazy. That
Yeah.
looks like it's gonna be good.
From the trailer, I think so, because they didn't give a lot away. But this movie is coming out February 8th, 2019. So
Ooh.
a few more months. And it's essentially
Damn.
another Omen kind of deal.
I don't think it's gonna be good. You know why? It's coming out too recently from when we announced it.
No.
Have you noticed that?
It might be okay.
The ones that take longer are usually the better ones. I don't know. I hope
Yeah,
so.
possibly.
But when we
But
talked about A Quiet Place and went to go see it,
yeah.
it was good initially. But once I let that shit settle, I was like, oh man.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm still kind of excited for it because there are a lot of these, like, you know, Killer Kid or like Antichrist Kid movies, but I like seeing new ones because they try to put a twist on it. So I'm just gonna be on the lookout for what the twist is in this one, honestly. But it's being released by Orion Pictures, and yeah, coming out February 8th. Next up is the little trailer for the new Goldbergs episode with
that
Robert Englund.
That looked hilarious.
Yeah, it does look pretty good, honestly.
That's tonight actually.
It is tonight, yeah. So Wednesday at 8 p.m.
Literally,
It just started.
It just started. Wow.
It just started, but maybe we can catch it on a rerun or like on demand or something.
Yeah, it's on Hulu right away as soon as
Okay,
it's done.
then there you go.
So we can watch it right after we're done.
Yep. And
Nice.
you guys should be able to watch it on Hulu or wherever it's available as well.
And since it's October, and if you're in Halloween mode, you should
Mhm.
definitely check out this episode.
Oh yeah. So Robert Englund is back as Freddy Krueger. If you didn't know,
Hopefully not for the last time.
yeah.
It might
Actually,
be.
there was an article that said that he did express interest in doing another film as Freddy.
Oh my God! Please,
Yeah, I hope
please,
so.
bro.
Mr.
No.
Englund, if you are listening to this, please do one.
Seriously, I don't want that other guy that looks like a real pedophile to fucking be Freddy.
Yeah, no.
He wasn't scary. He looked like he had Down syndrome. That,
All respect to Jackie Earle Haley. He's a fantastic actor, but you're just not Freddy Krueger.
yeah.
Sorry.
You're creepy though. Good job.
Yeah. Definitely creepy. I don't know. Well, we'll see. I mean, I hope so. I'm just glad he's coming back for this one. At the time of listening, this episode should already be out. Go check it out. The last trailer is about Bird Box. Now, this just dropped today. This one is featuring Sandra Bullock as the mother of two girls, or the mother of a girl, and then she like adopts one or something. I don't know. But it's kind of like a post-apocalyptic thing, and it's being related to A Quiet Place, even though it's actually more original than A Quiet Place, because there's this like force in the world that causes you to go crazy if you see it, and it like decimates humanity. And now there's like this little group of survivors, so whenever they go outside they have to like put blindfolds on so they can't see anything. So people are comparing it to A Quiet Place, because Quiet Place obviously was, you couldn't make a sound. This one's you can't like look at anything and shit like that. But it sounds kind of cool. It's actually based off of a novel by an author from the Detroit area.
Oh shit! I didn't know that.
Josh Mallerman. So go read the book if you want, but the film's coming out December 21st on Netflix and in theaters. I don't know why both, but
How about I'm gonna get it? I'm just gonna watch it for free on Netflix.
yeah.
Don't give me an errand.
Yeah, I don't know why you would go to the theater to watch it. I like going to the theater, but I don't know why you would do it if it's available on Netflix.
Yeah.
I don't understand that. But anyway, questionable decisions aside,
Oops.
that's the end of our trailers. That's the end of the news. So now, it's time to get into the heavy stuff. Our review of David Gordon Green's Halloween.
So we've been waiting a long time for this. We've been talking about it, I believe, ever since like the first few episodes.
Yeah.
And for me, I'm gonna explain what I thought of the movie first, and then we'll get into all the details. I gave it a 7 out of 10.
Okay.
It's a solid 7 out of 10.
It's fair.
Solely because of Michael's character and Laurie's character. Those are like the only two people I gave a shit about.
Yeah.
But this is not a spoiler-free review. Okay, I wanted Laurie to die, and she didn't.
Yeah.
I think that should have been like the final confrontation, because as Carpenter said, like, you can't kill evil, and if Michael's evil, then he can't die. They sort of made him, they sort of humanized him in this movie.
Yeah, they did a little bit.
Don't kill him. You killed him. Look, he stopped breathing. Why'd you do that? No, don't kill him.
Well, the doctor was just, that was just a bad character. That whole twist with the doctor.
Okay. Spoiler alert: when the fucking doctor came up to Michael when he got hit by the car,
Yeah.
and he sliced the cop, and then he put on the mask and started dancing around. To me,
Dude,
that seemed like some Rob Zombie shit to do.
I was praying to God, a figure who I don't believe in, but I was praying to it or him, and I was like, "Yo, please don't let Michael be dead and this fucking Indian doctor assume the role of Michael Myers for the rest of time."
Yeah, bro.
Like, if that happened, I was just gonna walk out of the theater, like, for real.
Yeah,
I wouldn't even watch the rest.
That almost ruined the film for me.
Yeah.
But when he got fucking smashed when Michael broke that fucking security barrier with his feet, started stomping on him,
Yeah.
and then he just turned his head into mush. That was like justice for like the shit that he just put us through for 5 minutes.
Yeah. So yeah, I think we're just voicing our immediate complaints, because I'm assuming if you're listening to this, you've seen the film, because who hasn't at this point? But there was a lot that I didn't like about it, but there was a lot that I did like about it. So for me, it was like an 8 out of 10.
I got you.
I was maybe a little generous, possibly, but
I don't know. I can't give it more than Hereditary, because Hereditary is a better film in my opinion.
I agree. I think I rated Hereditary higher, like, in
8.
retrospect.
I think it was 8, because I gave it like a 7.8. I give
You
this
think
one
I
a
rated
7.
an 8?
I'm pretty sure.
Well, in retrospect, I would give it at least an 8.5. I think.
Not gonna lie, this Halloween movie,
I mean Hereditary, but
I know.
Yeah.
I'm just running back to the Halloween. I like the cinematography. Initially
yeah.
at Smith's Grove, when Michael was standing at like that Masonic-ish looking, it seemed like a chess match, and like Michael was making his move. It seemed like a super metaphorical. Like,
yeah,
Michael's like the king, and he's just standing there waiting for someone to like make a move. And then that guy came in, and Michael, say something, and he made his move. And then Michael was like, "All right, now I know what to do next." And then Dr. Sartain, I guess, he's responsible for crashing the bus, as we later find out in the film. He's like, he wanted to see Michael in his natural environment, whatever the fuck that meant. That was such a stupid fucking character.
He just became obsessed with him. Like, Loomis was obsessed with him, but he still wanted to stop it. The Dr. Sartain, was that his name? In this one, he wanted to, like, study Michael, and, like, I don't know what his end goal was. Like, he wanted to just research him and discover why he was evil.
Why he killed 5 people, so it's not like Michael was some like big time like fucking Manson guy. So
I don't know.
probably it's a big deal for Haddonfield, because they never had anyone like that. No killers.
Well, and the fact that he was like shot and survived and everything.
He's like the real life boogeyman. Like,
yeah, and again, this one doesn't take into account part 2, the original part 2.
Oh yeah.
So
what I didn't like about Michael though is the lack of stalking in this movie. He just walked right up to everyone he was about to kill.
He was very upfront and personal.
Yeah, I think it's because he's been locked up for 40 years, but like,
yeah.
Still though, he was locked up for 15 years before, and he still had time to like.
Why would that change his personality though? Is my question. I don't think so. I mean, obviously, I know that a lot of it was through the cinematography because it showed him very, up front. It always showed. Well, not. It didn't always show him from the front, but especially when he got his mask, you saw a lot of actual face shots of Michael Myers.
Yeah.
Which was kind of weird. Like, it kind of humanized him a little bit, to use your word.
Yeah.
But I mean, just in general, like the way that he killed people and everything was also kind of more aggressive.
Yeah, it was more like a part 2 through 4 Jason rather than a Michael. Yeah. Like that's what the kills seemed like. Mm-hmm. Like when he grabbed that chick by her ponytail and she screamed, and then he bounced her head off the window to like get her dizzy, and then he stabbed her in the neck. That was totally like a Jason thing.
Yeah,
that wasn't really a Michael kill. Michael would have just grabbed her and then sliced her throat and just let her drop to the floor.
Yeah, it was interesting that all the kills in like the beginning of the movie though were not shown immediately. Like you could see the aftermath.
Yeah, the hammer kill was dedicated, I think. The hammer itself was a dedication to part 2's Mr. Garrett, the security guard. But the person he killed was like Mrs. Elrod. Mm-hmm. Like that was that little shout out part. Like,
yeah,
which I liked. I just didn't like. Also, they played the music at like the really wrong times. Like when he started walking up to that old lady's garage to get her hammer and the Halloween theme was playing, that shouldn't have been playing. The theme that should have been playing was the dun 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 dun. That double note on the keyboard. It shouldn't have been the dun 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 dun, because like it just seemed like too happy and like too like yay.
And like the beginning was so abrupt. He was yelling at Michael, and then just the theme song started. Like I get what they did, but I didn't like what they did. I thought it was just weird. Like, yeah, I think even stuff like that makes this movie feel less like stalkerish than the first movie.
It seemed like underwhelming because of like how quick they like we were never in one scene for more than like 7 minutes. It would be like 7 minutes here. All right, now we're here. 7 minutes here. It tried way too hard to develop the characters, and it did a bad job at that. It developed Laurie pretty well, and Michael.
I didn't care about Karen or Allison, the daughter and the granddaughter, like at all. Really, like I didn't like their little subplots.
No, I didn't. I didn't care about Allison's fucking douchebag boyfriend.
Yeah, not at all. Or that like creepy kid that tried to take advantage of her.
I'm glad he got killed.
Me too. Yeah, he was weird. That's like how I acted when I was like in junior.
That was the only chase scene when Michael chased that kid and he stabbed him.
It was. Yeah, it definitely needed more.
So no big chase scene. When the stuff went back to Laurie's house, it seemed more of like an action movie.
Yeah, it wasn't a chase.
Also a problem with logic. A grown ass 6 foot tall man hit Michael with a pipe, and Michael just destroyed him. Laurie Strode hit him with a frying pan, and he went tumbling down some stairs.
Yeah. There were a lot of like little inconsistencies with the script, I feel like, and that's my biggest problem with the movie.
I felt like the script, if say it doesn't feel rushed, because the whole script seemed just
kind of
yeesh. The best thing was like the kills and the cinematography and the atmosphere. Mm-hmm. Those 3 things were really good.
I did like the score, but you're right, it did kind of feel like it was put place. In. Yeah, like it was out of place, sort of. It was just put in at the wrong times, kind of. I mean, I feel like it was obviously very deliberate, but they just should have taken a different approach with it. And I think that could have helped the whole movie, like the atmosphere of the whole movie. Make it feel more like part 1. I mean, I don't know. They probably didn't even want it to feel like part 1. That's why they did so many things differently. But then it's weird that they would throw in all these references
to all the Michael Myers movies.
Right, especially to more than the first one, because
to H2O, the bathroom
scrapping
scene.
That canon. So why even put in references?
Yeah, it just seemed...
It's kind of weird. Like I think that was one of the gripes from our friend Dave at Over Under Fair. That was one of his problems with the film. He told me, and I agreed with him.
Yeah. I don't know why they would add all these Easter eggs. Like, hey, remember this? And let me just say something. The only reason that this film has a fresh rating by critics and on Rotten Tomatoes and on everything else is just because if you're a fan of this franchise and you watch this movie, you're gonna notice these Easter eggs and like these kills and like. Yeah. It's you really have to be a fan of this franchise to like this movie. Yeah. I think.
Well. Here's what I'll say.
But you also have to be a fan of this franchise to not like it.
Yeah, like I'll put it out there. I thought this movie was good, not great.
Yeah,
It was average.
That was like the first thing I said to you as soon as
Yeah.
I walked up to you in the theater.
Yeah, and you know, I completely knew where you were coming from because
I felt like that. I felt like you knew how I felt, and you felt the same way about that ending. That it was super underwhelming.
Yeah, I didn't like the ending, but let's talk about that in a little bit. I just wanted to say, the comedy. I didn't feel like it was too forced, but there were times where I thought it was a little excessive,
Yeah.
and that's where I could see Danny McBride in it, you know, because he's a comedian.
The funny
For
part,
whatever reason, he's writing Halloween.
the
but-
funniest part for me was like when Ray said he had peanut butter on his penis. Like
yeah,
he's like, I think I got peanut butter on my penis. He just said it so subtly in the background. It was just
and then
the little kid wasn't that funny because he just said. People were just laughing because it was just stereotype. Oh shit, y'all finna
Yeah.
die, and everyone's like, ah ha 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 ha. It wasn't
Yeah.
that funny.
like, oh, he's black and he's saying fuck at like age 8 and stuff.
Yeah, that's why people laughed, just because it was just like,
Mhm.
and it was mostly the white people at the theater laughing too. Like
yeah, trying to fit in.
the black people were like, okay, we get it. You guys are using, you know, just because
Well, some of them were laughing. I mean, because you know it's a movie, like you're there to have fun. But
the
yeah.
kid didn't really say anything funny.
yeah,
He would just say like, man, shit, what the fuck? Like he was just like, what's his name? Fucking Webster, you know, like.
yeah. I don't know. That scene kind of threw me off, you know, especially because I thought it would have been better if it was a more suspenseful scene, and throwing that comedy in there with that kid just totally
Especially
made that, it totally made it like
Anticlimactic.
inaccessible. Yeah.
Like, especially since as soon as he sliced her, as soon as she opened the closet, like, the little kid was like, oh, shit. And he got up and he ran. And everyone laughed. And I was like, bro, it's a little kid saying, oh, shit. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. It seems like the kid was being, like hey, kid, let's use stereotypical, humor to make people relate to you, because
Yeah.
I just thought that was a dick move. Like, it's just like...
Yeah, I don't know how I felt about
It's like
that.
when you're watching other horror movies and they got the one black guy and he's like, "What's up, y'all? Y'all trying to chill?" And
Yeah,
like they make him
everybody laughs.
excessively like ignorant, and I'm like, bro, this is not realistic at all. Like nobody you know what I'm saying? It's
that
just
was exactly what they did with Shorty in
yeah, it's
Scary
scary.
Movie.
It's just like super like cringy, Like it's super
Yeah.
like
Except that was like a parody, so it was supposed to happen.
it's like we get it,
But-
the white screenwriters are trying to be like hip and stuff, like cool, but like
Yeah.
No.
It was kind of like that with Keegan-Michael Key and The Predator.
'Cause
But it was written
that
well.
was done because everyone in that movie was funny as fuck. So
The dialogue and the writing and everything in this movie, yeah, cringy at
but
times.
like I just hate how horror movies make every black person like, oh hell no, like they just
Yeah.
make that like it's like stop doing that. That's fucking like don't you see how like fucking like that's fucking racist, bro. Chill the fuck out. Like they
yeah.
just I don't know. It's just stop. Like
Yeah,
stop the
I agree,
cliche
that's
shit.
weird.
Like just it's corny. You guys look awkward. You look like
Especially in a movie just completely full of white people.
yeah. Like don't just add the one black dude and make him ignorant as fuck or like make him
Yeah.
obnoxious. Like
You're gonna get parodied by a
Yeah,
Scary Movie. It's
exactly.
gonna happen.
except Shorty lived at Scary Movie.
Yeah. Well, he had to. He was like the best character.
He was. He seriously was. I didn't give a fuck about anyone besides
No.
like
And in Scary Movie too.
Shorty, and I kind of didn't care about Cindy. Anyway, that little I don't know. I felt like the comedy made the horror underwhelming in that moment.
Yeah, I agree. Because I mean, you can have a good horror movie that has comedy elements in it, but I did kind of feel like there were too many in this one.
I think the most
You
it
know?
should go like in terms of comedy. I'm saying like dry comedy, like when that ugly fuck was like. He went up to Allison and her boyfriend. He started kissing them like.
Yeah.
I think that's the furthest it should go. We shouldn't have like.
Because that's like, oh, okay, haha, like
It's
they're
like-
friends, like
yeah,
it's funny.
It's not really funny, like
Mm.
clever or like there's no like comedy behind it. They're just being douches. Like
Yeah.
sure that type, but like don't throw in like fucking bunch of stereotypical bullshit to make us laugh.
Yeah. So the comedy, I feel like could have been handled better or not included at all.
I think it could have been more subtle.
Yeah, I think so too. I think if they threw in like maybe like a couple jokes, then it could have been not so just heavy with the comedy and the one-liners and everything,
I just
So, I don't know.
so the positive things for me were the cinematography.
Mhm.
The new score was nice.
Yeah.
The Loomis voice. I know it wasn't Donald Pleasance, but the Loomis voice cameo.
It sounded like it.
It needs to die. It needs to try.
Yeah,
That was
cool.
that was probably my favorite part of the movie. But,
Yeah.
Michael, he's the plus. He's just this unresponsive, emotionless old man who just wants to kill for nothing.
The Mask.
The Mask was dope.
Great.
The kills. James Jude Courtney as Michael. I'm gonna say he did a perfect Nick Castle impersonation.
Yeah, I think he did a great job at just being intimidating.
Yeah, he was. Yeah,
because like this Michael was actually pretty terrifying.
Yeah, because part 2 Michael wasn't too intimidating.
Yeah,
he was about like 5'9".
Well, the movie like had a lot of shadows and everything too that made him kind of look scarier than he actually was. But in this movie, I thought it was a very effective costume. Yeah,
because this wasn't like the robotic Myers. This was like the whole ass Nick Castle Myers. Like,
well, that kind of leads into potentially another negative. They did make him pretty human.
His ability to take damage, like we said earlier.
Yeah,
he got hit by the car. He was out cold for. Well, okay, in Jason Takes Manhattan, Jason got hit by a car and he was out for like 5 minutes too.
Yeah.
So I mean, I guess 2 of the best slashers got. It's understandable.
Still take damage.
Yeah, they took. He wasn't dead though. Probably a few broken ribs or something, if even that. Like,
I mean, he was down under that water the whole time for like how long?
Yeah.
If so yeah, maybe he's a little waterlogged.
So they
gets hit by a car and
they kind of humanized Michael.
It just felt weird because like he didn't feel like he was that evil like presence.
Yeah.
He just felt like a fucked up guy, almost harkening back to Rob Zombie's Halloween.
Yeah, almost, but like they didn't give him backstory, so thank God for that. He was just I think he's just something just went wrong, bro. You can't fix him, just keep him locked up, but they fucked up. Dr. Sartain, whatever the fuck. I think like 16 people died in this fucking film or something like that. So that's the thing I like about this. Like the body count is more like a Jason movie.
Yeah.
And so are the kills, so like I don't know. I wanted like a little bit more subtle kills, I guess.
Yeah, I liked the brutality, but like you said, he should have been more of like a stalker.
Yeah, that's the whole Myers thing. They took out that element. Like he stalked that old lady for about 3 seconds before he just walked into her garage and picked up a hammer.
Yeah.
Like, and he didn't even stalk her. He just walked up as she's walking into the house, he's walking toward her. I don't know how she didn't see him, but one more thing.
Okay.
Also, this movie is like really like man-hating. Because if you notice, all the women had quick deaths, and all the men had, like, terrible deaths.
Yeah.
Like, the doctor got his head fucking stomped. The dude in the bathroom got his head bashed in the fucking wall. Ray got choked to death with, like, chains, and no one gave a fuck about Ray. That's another thing. Why did Ray die? And then fucking Karen's like, where's Ray? And then fucking Laurie just like, get in the basement. And Allison didn't even care that her dad was fucking. And they burned the house down with him in it too. They didn't even look for his body.
Well, yeah, I know. I mean, it was kind of fucked up what happened to the husband. I agree. Obviously, I don't think this movie is trying to push this issue of like man hate or anything. But
I don't know. It seemed
but I can respect your opinion.
The trifecta of the female leads ganged up on Michael.
Yeah. Oh, it's definitely about the whole family woman dynamic.
Bro, if you put me in a room with those three, I'll beat them up easy. Are you telling me this fucking monster of a man couldn't handle them?
Yeah, I mean, because obviously Jamie Lee Curtis is now supposed to be this badass character, which let's talk about that a little bit.
Oh, God.
Not really badass, I was not like a fan. Well, because she's supposed to be this prepared, like, Michael Hunter, or whatever the term is, I guess, that you want to use for it. But that's basically what she is. She has, like, this huge stockpile of guns. Her fucking, like, kitchen island little thing can, like, rotate, and it reveals a secret basement or some shit. Like, come on.
Yeah.
That
was, like...
Like, you open the bookcase, there's, like, an AK, it's like an M4.
PTSD is bad, but it's not that bad. Like, I have PTSD. Yeah. I'm not making secret rooms to shelter myself from granite countertops, or you know what I'm saying?
That was a little too, like, far-fetched for me. Like, a little too silly.
Yeah, I think it was, like, extremely crazy. Like
corny, that's the word.
Yeah, like, it's like, well, 2 of my friends got killed, and one of their boyfriends. Oh man, my life is oof. Like, it's
and then the whole backstory of Karen, like, I was raised with a gun in my hand, basically.
My mom taught me how to defend myself. She was a terrible mother.
Every day.
I learned how to fight. I learned how to shoot guns. It's like, are you
Yeah.
bragging or are you complaining? What do you mean? That sounds like an
Yeah.
awesome life.
So again, going back to my gripe with the writing, it felt like they tried to put too much in there. You know, like there was the thing with the reporters.
It made the character.
Everything.
It made all the character development they were trying to go for with like the whole family dynamic.
Mhm.
Like they just made it super like I could not give a shit less.
Yeah,
I was just like, all right, stop being a dick to Lori. She's obviously not all right. And then even, Karen, I snuck in through the window. The bus crashed. Mom, what bus crashed? They didn't even let her explain. You need to get help, and they just pushed her out the house. Bitch, Michael's. Why didn't you just say? That's another thing. Why didn't you just be like, the bus that was transporting Michael crashed and Michael escaped? If she told her, she probably would have been like, oh shit, you know? Okay,
Yeah.
but then she just kind of let them push her out of the house. Mom, you're crazy. You need help. Don't come back until you get help. Okay, crazy lady. Bye bye. Like,
It was very weird, like just how the characters interacted with each other. But again, I think like that ties back to the writing and the dialogue in the script. It was a little much for me, but
what
Yeah.
I also didn't like is how the dudes, the dude and the chick at the beginning that came to Myers, they were fucking
Yeah.
journalists, right?
Mm.
And the guy goes, I borrowed something from the Attorney General.
Yeah.
Hey, you know those murders in 1978? Yeah. Can I have the mask? Why? I'm gonna go show it to the murderer. Okay, here you go. What the fuck? Well, how'd that happen?
Yeah, I don't know how that happened. There were some definite like questions left to be answered and stuff that we probably will never get answers to. But it does seem likely that there's going to be a sequel. We'll talk about the ending, but I gave this movie an 8 out of 10, and I will say I did have fun in the movie theater watching this film.
Oh yeah, fuck yeah.
you
bro.
know. So I mean, I have to give it a little bit extra, but
I wanted to like a lot of the kills were off screen too.
yeah.
I didn't like that. Like
Yeah, I mean, it was mostly during the beginning. A little later, they
in
got
the
a little bit
original.
more
The only
brutal,
one
but-
that was off screen was that dude that he stole the jumpsuit from. He was just
Yeah.
laying in the bushes.
Yeah, it was kind of weird at the beginning. I think that's their like attempt to make him more of like a stalker, and also with that whole one shot as well, where he jams the knife through that lady's throat. But he could have been more of a stalker in this film.
It's weird that the movie was pretty long,
Mhm.
hour 45 minutes, but it felt like it wasn't long enough. I think that's because the transitions from scene to scene were not smooth at all.
Yeah,
The-
it was just
I
very
felt-
like frantically paced.
I was gonna say yeah, fucking erratically paced. Like
Yeah.
it's like the movie seemed all over the place.
There were some slow parts, but then like it jumped to the teenagers at that dance or whatever, which nobody cared about. I didn't give a shit about that.
That was for
scene.
nothing. Like seriously, think about all the scenes where Allison got followed. Like
Yeah.
that followed Allison. Her boyfriend's being a dick. Her friend gets killed after trying to make out with her. She runs through the woods and then she comes back to the house. She
Yeah.
was a useless character.
Remember when was it her phone that got dumped into that like cheese
Yeah,
bowl
yeah.
or whatever?
That was hers.
They spent like a whole fucking 5 minutes on that cheese bowl,
Yeah.
and like that whole like interaction between them about the phone and everything, and then him cheating. Like, I don't give a shit.
That's how you appeal to teenagers. Oh
Yeah.
look how evil the boys in this movie are. You see what I'm saying about the narrative? Look how evil the men in
Yeah.
this movie are.
I suppose.
Their own, men's own evil will destroy them, and that's why the men had like the most horrific fucking deaths. Like,
Yeah.
bro, you see those guys at the fucking gas station whose jaws were like fucking ripped open
Oh,
and their
yeah.
necks were snapped back?
That dude got like
They look like they were-
slammed on the edge of the desk.
They look like they were melting, bro. Like
Kind of.
how
Yeah, he
badly
fucked them
how
up.
badly do you got to get fucking beaten? Like, you know what I'm saying? Every man got fucking fucking raged on, bro. Like
All right. Well,
like they just think about it
I
one
know, I know.
second. Like
No,
they,
I know.
What did they
You're
do?
right, you're
Fucking
right.
key his fucking Camaro? Like
Yeah, they do die awful deaths for sure. But he himself is a man and he's killing all these people. I don't know, bro.
it's the men's own evil within them that destroys them.
Maybe it is a hidden message. But let's talk about the ending real quick and then we'll wrap it up, I think. So, yeah, the ending of this film, you expressed that you did not like it. I'm going to ask you 2 questions.
Oh god.
The first one is why did you not like it? And the second question is if you could have instead created the ending to this film, what would happen.
As far as why, I would say like the consistency. Like I said earlier, she hit him with a frying pan and he tumbled down some steps. And then when he grabbed Allison's mom, and then Allison started like stabbing his fingers, and then they flicked that switch and those spikes came out. It's like you're telling me he flipped this like 1,000-pound island, but he can't bend back some metal bars.
Right. Yeah, and I didn't like it because it was just weird. I mean, the whole like burning the house down because they got him into a trap, like that was kind of dumb. It just felt anticlimactic, and the only interaction that he even had with Lori was him like grabbing her through the door. Other than that, he had like no interaction with her during the end scene.
Well, he stabbed her and threw her off the roof, and
yeah, but
she pulled a Michael and disappeared on him. I thought that was...
But I mean, during like that last sequence of them like in the house, I just don't feel like there was enough of a struggle between Lori and Michael, which is what the entire movie was leading up to, was this struggle between both of them, and it didn't really happen. They went downstairs, they like tricked him into, getting blasted downstairs or something. They trapped him in there, and that whole turn by Judy Greer's character Karen was dumb. Her like faking it and then like saying that one-liner, gotcha.
Yeah, that was stupid.
Yeah, it was dumb. And then he gets trapped down there, and then the house burns down, and like all of them live, and then Michael ends up living. And
then you hear him breathing before the credits end. You hear,
yeah.
And then it cuts like.
Yeah, so I just felt like the whole end fight was anticlimactic. I didn't like it, and that was one of the biggest reasons I felt this movie was just average. Yeah. Because the whole build-up, like, it should have just been, like, him chasing Lori, they fight, and then I don't know what happens. So go ahead and answer what you would rather happen.
For me, it would have been, like, a longer fight. Like, she would have hit him, stabbed him, right? As soon as she stabbed him, she gets away. She hides somewhere in the house. She ends up hiding in the closet, just like the first movie. She does the same thing to him, except, doesn't poke him in the eye. She stabs him. But, he gets a hold of her this time. He doesn't let her, like, jam the knife all the way into his chest. There's a struggle. Karen comes upstairs, tries to shoot Michael, accidentally shoots Lori in the shoulder. Michael goes after... Michael grabs Karen by the throat, puts her up against the wall. Allison comes up, strikes Michael. Michael puts down Allison's mom. He starts walking toward Allison as Lori's laying there with her shoulder bleeding. She's yelling, no, no, no. And then, what's her name? Judy Greer. What's her name? Karen, yeah.
Karen, yeah.
Karen gets up, picks up the gun off the floor, shoots Michael in the back of the head. Michael drops. They get up. They try to leave the house. And then like, Lori's trying to say something, but, she's injured. So they're like, no, Mom, we need to get you to a hospital, And then, they, as they're leaving the house, like, they turn back and Michael's just fucking gone. So then Lori makes Karen and, like, fucking, what's her name? Allison. They're like get in the pickup, They go to, they're like, turn it on. They go to get in the pickup. They turn into a car or whatever, any car that's there. Okay. They turn it on. Spark plug's missing. Michael pulled it out. So they're just trapped in the car now. Lori's looking for Michael. Lori goes to the basement to check, and Michael's in there. He attacks Lori. He throws her around a bit, and then Lori tells Karen, like, press the button. Then Karen presses the button and traps them both down there. Then, as an homage to the second movie, as like the gas is being shot through, Michael tilts his head at Lori. She pulls out a lighter, just like Loomis, and says, "It's time, Michael." And then both of them die in the explosion.
So you would have ended it right there, or would you have made it?
I would have ended it right there. Both of them, like, as soon as Lori lights the lighter, they both get set on fire. But Michael's not dead. Lori's dead. But I would have kept the story arc that Michael is indeed an immortal and cannot die.
Yeah. If Lori died, though, I think that would have been better. Because, I mean, now they have to bring her back for the sequel, which,
I would have had
makes sense financially and everything.
I would have had the struggle, like I said, Michael beating the shit out of her in the basement.
Yeah.
And then Karen locks them both in because she has to. Karen's crying. And then Lori tells her to get out. And then Michael tilts his head as the gas is coming out, and he's just staring at Lori. She says, "It's time, Michael," just like Loomis did. And then...
Yeah, there just should have been more of a struggle between them. There was like barely any interaction between those two characters in the whole movie.
And in the next movie, it starts off with like, in the ambulance, Laurie's just like basically like a skeleton, like almost basically she's dead.
Mm.
Michael's like kind of like halfway burnt just because movie logic, and
Yeah.
and they're like they show Laurie and Michael in the hospital. They're in the ER. They're checking on Michael. They're like, this one's still breathing. We can still save him. And then they save Michael. And then the part 2 to this movie will be an homage to the original second movie, and this one will take place in a hospital that's fully staffed, unlike the second one that has like 3 nurses and a doctor.
So he has more victims.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think I could top that.
I'd make him more stalkerish too. Like he'd actually have to move smart around the hospital because it's not empty.
Right.
We could knock the power out just like in the second one. Like he could go turn the power out.
Well, it's an interesting idea, man.
Like blow them both up at the end of it. Laurie dies. They think Michael's dead. Oh no, we could still save him. They save him. He takes back his jumpsuit and his mask, but now he's all burnt to shit, and he just walking around the hospital.
Yeah, what would have been cool for me? I wish that he would have killed Karen.
I thought about that.
Yeah.
And then Laurie like just fucking
like I don't know what happens. Like she goes ape shit, but she's like fights him.
Or another ending for me, like
and I don't know, she ends up getting the upper hand on him.
Like another ending for me, like he crushes Karen's head, and then Laurie like tackles him and impales him onto something.
Okay.
And then she like walks up to him and like spits on him, and then he opens his eyes and grabs her and pulls her through the spike too. And as they're both like as like Michael and Laurie are both impaled and dying on that, Allison just starts like screaming, and like the movie ends.
That would be interesting.
We don't know Michael's fate because, I mean, come on, he just got a spike through him. We know Laurie's dead for sure. Make them both kebabs, like shring, or blow them both up. Laurie should have had more damage besides a knife to the stomach, and she got thrown off of like a tiny semi-balcony, like.
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of weird how she took the place of Michael from the first movie in this movie. Like when Allison looked out the window and she saw Laurie like standing there. Yeah.
Originally in the script, they took it out before they released the movie, but Laurie was supposed to have been the one that ran the bus off the road to get Michael free. Yeah.
See, I feel like that would have been better because then, that would have put her in this whole state of like the Michael Hunter more. Yeah. And then he could have chased her, and it would make sense why he like knew where she was the whole time.
I didn't like that he ran away from her in the movie too. Like when she shot at him and he was walking away, and then she shot him in the shoulder, and then he just kept walking.
I don't know. There were definitely some questionable decisions, but like I said, overall I did enjoy the movie. The one shot in it was great. I thought the score overall was done well.
The placement was weird though.
The placement was weird for sure, but the acting was good. Michael was great. I can't really say much more than that. Like I said, it was an 8 out of 10 movie for me. It could have been better. I was a little disappointed in it. But I'm hoping that the next one is better. I mean, they're just going to keep coming at this point.
I still like the original Halloween 2 better. What about you?
Than this movie?
The original sequel to me is better than this one.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Like this to me is here's my order of Halloween movies that I like. The original, Part 2, Part 4, and then this.
Okay.
Even though Part 4 is part of the Thorn trilogy, originally Part 4, it wasn't written with that in mind. He was just killing because family.
Yeah. It just was connected to it because of how it led up to Part 5.
Yeah,
basically.
And even Part 5, they hadn't established the cult thing. They showed the symbol, but they fully explained everything in the next movie, which had a new director, new writers, and everything. So Halloween 4 could be its own movie too, like its own. It's like 1, 2, and then 4, and then Jamie Lloyd's like the killer, and then just leave it open ended. But yeah, this is my 4th favorite Michael movie.
Okay.
I still like Halloween 4 better because like another thing with Halloween 4 is like it had Halloween like spirit. It felt like a Halloween time movie. This one didn't, like, even though you see the kids in the costumes, like it's the same 5 kids. Yeah. It's not really a neighborhood. You could tell it's just like a bunch of actors on a street.
It kind of just happens like
they didn't show like a big community,
for like a few minutes, yeah.
Like in like the other, like
I mean, they did show all the kids at like the dance and all. They were all dressed up and everything, but that whole scene just felt like fodder for all the teenagers that are going to see this movie right now. Yeah,
I think so.
It wasn't really relevant to the story. I feel like, because nobody cared about Allison. Sorry, I didn't.
I didn't care about Karen either. I only cared about
Yeah.
Lori.
Same, and they made it about all of them. But anyway, that notwithstanding, you know, it happened. But still, it showed the kids trick or treating for like maybe 2 minutes,
And it was
then
the same
He was like
kids?
kind of in Haddonfield. Yeah, it was kind of in Haddonfield, and then fucking just moved on from there, you know. And then it was like just going through all these like random little locations. So
It didn't seem like they were in a city, sure, but it didn't seem like it was a community.
right,
Like it just
yeah.
it didn't seem
Definitely
like
not like the first
populated.
one.
You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah, even when the one cop was around, like it was just him. And
Yeah.
he was just like riding around with the doctor, or whoever he was
yeah,
riding around with.
where's the whole fucking police force in this
the
film?
whole squad. Yeah, I don't know. There were, like I said, questionable decisions, but overall I found it to be enjoyable. But we're just about short on time here, so I think we're gonna wrap it up. 7 out of 10 for you. I gave it an 8. Let us know what you guys think. Let us know how you guys would have ended it,
So our
or
joint
what you would have changed.
joint score. We'll do joint score too. So
Okay.
we give this movie 15 out of 20.
Sure, yeah. That's fair. I think that's a fair score.
-5 is not that bad at all. So
No.
they were.
Especially for all the shit we just talked about it, but we just had to...
If I was not a Michael Myers fanboy, I probably would rate this movie a lot less.
Yeah. But I mean, I thought the acting was pretty solid too.
Yeah, acting was good.
I mean, there were a lot of good technical aspects to it. It was just narratively, it kind
Lazy.
of fell off. Yeah.
It felt rushed. Pace felt erratic.
Mm.
There was not smooth transitions between scenes, and each scene would only get focused on for like
Mhm.
a minimal amount of time before they'd quickly switch to another scene, and it just seemed like they just kept switching. Hey, look at this. Oh wait, what
Yeah.
about here? Hey, look what's going on over here. Hey, look, Michael's stalking people at the cemetery. Oh, he's bashing a guy's face in with a hammer. Give me that jumpsuit. Like, you know, like
And that's not even really part of the editing, because that's the director's vision. So
yeah.
and not to like shit talk David Gordon Green, because I think he's a solid director, but there was just a lot of overall inconsistencies and things that could have been improved
Yeah,
on
it's
or
his-
thought
it's-
about. But I think this might be his first horror, possibly. Correct me if I'm wrong.
That's
But-
what it was. Yeah, first horror
Yeah.
should be, because they mentioned like
Yeah, good job. Yeah.
this was that was not. I've seen shit that was not even close to fucking.
Yeah. Like I
shit,
said,
but
it was good. So
it had plenty flaws, but it had plenty pluses. Like I'm just
Mhm.
glad Michael was there, and like we didn't just catch barely any glimpses of
Yeah.
him. Like
yeah, I'm glad that we have a new Halloween movie, and I definitely plan on watching it again soon, just to catch everything.
oh yeah, I'm buying the Blu-ray in
Yeah.
January.
Yeah. So, like I said, let us know what you guys think. You can do so by messaging us on our social media, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Grave Discussions. And of course, don't forget to check out our website where we have all of our newest episodes, host bios, and links to SRD and all other kinds of stuff, written reviews. So go check out the website, gravediscussions.net. And like Michael Myers, we will be back.
Next time on Grave Discussions.
This has been an SRD production.